Hi guys, I'm at EatPrayBieber. I'm Paloma, so I'm going to be talking about my Bieber experience. So on June 6th, they announced the tour dates for South America. I barely had hope that they would include Puerto Rico in them, but since we're from the Caribbean, not South America, but I did not go to sleep until they were announced. They were announced at 10 a.m. I was on Skype on my phone with my friends. When out of nowhere, one of my friends starts screaming, Puerto Rico's in! And I'm like, what? I did not believe them at all until I saw them with my own eyes on Bieber Fever, October 19th. When I saw, that finally I was going to get my chance after 5 years. I've been, waiting for this moment. It's the best feeling in the world that I finally had my own countdown. Something to look forward to. Started my countdown with 135 days, and it was the best day of my life, knowing I finally got the chance to see my idol perform. So after that, and days started passing by, and the pre-sales came June 24th, and it was a mess because I've never bought any tickets in my life for any concerts. This was my first concert, and my best friend Sophia came with me to help me, and I bought my tickets, and I was crying the whole day because finally I'm seeing him perform after so many years of not believing that I was going to get the chance. My best friend Karime was supposed to come to Puerto Rico with me to see him perform, but it didn't happen, but I know it will. So yeah, that will happen. I know it. And days, again, like I said, the days kept passing by, getting closer to the concert. On July 10th, something amazing happened that I never expected it to happen. I saw that Justin was online tweeting and all that, and I not indirect, I just write Justin on the tweet. I didn't even tag, add Justin Bieber, no. I'd say, but when Justin tweets about Puerto Rico, it will be the death of me. And out of nowhere, I get a tweet from Justin tagging Alfredo saying Puerto Rico. And I threw myself to the floor crying because he noticed me from all the people, from all the mentions he gets, from everything. To think that he noticed me from all those people tweeting him, from everyone, I just never expected that to happen. That he saw my tweet from all the millions of tweets that he gets every second. And the thing that he mentioned Puerto Rico was the best thing ever. He noticed Puerto Rico. Yeah, it was amazing. Sorry. After that, I FaceTimed my best friend Karima, telling her about everything that happened, crying my eyes out because I cried for hours. I still can't believe it till this day. And then the concert kept getting closer and closer. And when this all started, I made an alarm clock. Yeah, an alarm clock called "Wish for the Impossible." At 11:11, it would go on off, start ringing, and I would make a wish, anything related towards Justin, because let's just say I'm not that positive person. Well, not how I am because of everything, and then, there were 20 days left for the concert, 20 or 30, and I lost hope, to be quite honest. But not all of it. Because I had a reminder on my phone saying, you will meet Justin someday, or wish for the impossible. As a reminder that anything can happen, just, keep trying. So, the concert started getting closer. I was getting everything ready. Finishing the scrapbook I made for Alfredo, entering the Bieber Fever contest because that was a stress for me since I've never done that. So yeah, after that, week of the concert got there and I was a mess. I didn't know where to go. I had school. All the dancers started getting here. And I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know until on Friday, I finally got the chance to go hunting for the crew or Justin, and I went to how do I say this? I went to do a few errands with my dad and my friend Keisha, and my amazing friend, one less only girl tracker, aka Kimberly. I love her to death. She DM'd Jen to see if she could meet me the day of the concert, since she knows how much I love and adore her. I love Jen so, so much. She means the world to me. She is the sweetest person that you will ever meet. And I'm like at the mall doing some errands, and I get a DM from her telling me that she said yes, that she would love to meet me. I started crying in the middle of the mall. I threw myself at the floor, and it's like in the middle of the mall. It was just, I couldn't believe it. Like, I just couldn't believe it. She wanted to meet me. And I got so excited. And then I found out she was like her plane, like she was gonna be here, like on Friday. So as soon as I found out like that people from the crew were arriving that day, I told my dad, can we go to the airport, since my dad took that whole day to like, you know, help us and go to the airport. So we went as fast as we could to the airport, and we got there and we met some amazing believers. I've never met some like believers other than my friend Keisha. And to be with the same people that have the same interests and like love and support the same person is amazing. The feeling is indescribable. And we were there waiting for hours. We got at like to the airport at 11:30 a.m. and we were waiting because we didn't know what flight exactly it was, since they barely gave us hints, you know, so we had to figure it out. So we were like trying to figure it out by ourselves and all that. And I don't know, and like we're all waiting, and we thought like they were all coming from Los Angeles to Miami, then Miami to Puerto Rico. The dancers flight got delayed, so that came at like 9 or 10 or even later. And we're waiting for Jen, but Jen's flight didn't come until like 6 something. And I couldn't stay there until 6. I was begging my dad, since we've been there the whole day trying to charge our phones, everything. And he said, okay, you guys can stay here, and I'll come back for you guys. And we stayed. We waited and waited until it was 6:30, but like around that time, my dad and my mom got there with my sister, and I was like, damn, they got early. And so we're waiting when we find out that Jen is here. And let me just say, I was screaming. Like when I saw her coming out like with her luggage, I started screaming. When she like came towards us, like I was in the middle, like right in front of her. But the thing is, everyone was like screaming so loud, and like I couldn't breathe, so I got out as fast as I could because I just couldn't take it. But then I saw that she's leaving, and I'm like, no. And my dad saw that he was coming back, and my dad pushed me to her, and I take a picture with her, and then I'm like, I have a letter for her. I wrote a letter for her. Forgot to mention that. And I was trying to give her the letter and mention to her that I'm Kimberly's friend. But everyone started screaming, and like she could barely hear me. And like finally she heard me, and I'm like, I'm Kim's friend. And that's where she stopped taking pictures with everyone and looked at me. And she's like, oh wait, you're EatPrayBieber? My whole world stopped right there. And when I say it stopped, it stopped. And I was like, yes, oh my, and she's like, yes. And she's like, oh my God, nice to meet you. And I'm like, nice to meet you too. And I give her this, I give her the letter. I'm like, this is for you. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then, like, I had made a scrapbook for Fredo with letters from believers telling him how much we love and care for him. And I had it here because, like, you know, I was holding it. I had it, like, right here in front of me. And she saw it, and she's like, is that for Fredo? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, Fredo's with his family right now. Do you want me to give it to him? And I'm like, oh my God, yes, please, thank you. And she's like, okay, I'll give it to him, I promise. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And so I got out of the group because, you know, she was trying to leave because, you know, time was running out. So she started leaving, and I just went crying to Keisha and hugged her so tight. Like, she knew who I was. She knew me. She knew who I, like, the thing that I succeeded on something, like, I succeeded on one of the things that I wanted to give her the letter. I succeeded in getting the scrapbook to Alfredo, meeting her. She's the sweetest person ever. And so I started crying, and I went to Keisha, crying like I said. And I told my parents, thank you for letting me stay. And then they're like, let's go eat, and you can stay here again so you can meet the dancers. And I'm like, really? And so we went to eat, and we started talking about everything that happened. when we go down, we're waiting for the dancers. There were less people, like very less, because when Jen came here, it was swarmed with so many people. It was incredible. I've never seen that many believers at the same place. And so we're waiting for the dancers since their flight got delayed. They got like at 11, like at 10, like 40. But since they had to wait until everyone got out so nothing can happen to the passengers they were getting out, they waited and then they came out. And the first one that I saw was Johnny. And Johnny was so hyped, honestly. They were all hyped. But they all look really tired since their flight got delayed. They've been on a plane for like a very long time. They all started getting out. It was a mess. I met all of them because I got a chance to talk to all of them. But I got a picture with Nick and Carlina. They were so nice. I actually come out in some of their videos, but my dad comes out in all of them. The guy that you see in the middle of the videos, like this, with a mustache and a blue shirt and jeans, that is my dad. So yeah. After that, I started crying because I succeeded in so much. I met the dancers. I met Jen. It was crazy. Then I realized that I forgot about the Bieber Fever contest. No one has gotten, like, I started, like, before we left. I was like, has any of you guys gotten the email? And they're like, no. So we made a prayer circle before we all left. And we prayed that everything would come out perfect the day of the concert. We would all meet Justin some way, somehow. And so after that, we left, and I left Keisha at her house, and I got to my house, and I just look around, and I'm like, wow, tomorrow's my concert. I'm finally seeing Justin perform. And I noticed that no one still has gotten the email at all, like nothing, and it was like already 12, and I'm like, wow, what's happening? So I'm like, wait, no one has gotten it, there's still a chance. So I went to sleep. I wake up at 7, and I told my mom, can you do my hair and all that, and she's like, I'll do it when I come back. And saw that 5 people got the email to meet, that they're going to meet Justin from Bieber. I was devastated. Because I've been waiting 5 years, like many of you guys, to meet him. And that was my only, chance to meet him. It was honestly the worst feeling in the world. To know that you weren't going to meet Justin. You're not going to get the chance to talk to him, tell him how much you love him, be beside him, not even a glimpse, right next to him, you get me? It was the worst feeling in the world, honestly. And my mom asked me what was wrong, and I explained to her, I didn't win, and she, gave me a pep talk that you'll meet him, you will get your chance, no matter what anyone says, maybe it wasn't your time, and so my friend said, I didn't win, and it wasn't meant to be. You get me? So, after 3 hours of crying, I get myself, together, and I'm like, okay, you're still gonna see him in concert, it's all good. So I get myself together, I'm done with everything. Before I leave, I look around my whole room, my posters, and I tell, really corny, and no matter what happens, I will always love and support you. I guess it wasn't meant to be to meet you this time. So I leave to the concert, I pick up Keishla, and we arrived to the venue, to the arena, and where we're coming out, I hear a lot of girls scream, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? And when I check my phone, Justin tweeted, Puerto Rico, you ready? And I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna happen, we're here for 5 years, it's finally, our chance is here, you're going to see him perform live, it's not any videos, no pictures, no, he's gonna be right there in front of us. It was unbelievable. So many of you guys have been waiting for that moment for so long, seeing everyone get the chance to see him in concert, and finally I got it, I had the chance. So after we get there, we meet some amazing people, believers, and we see the meet and greet line, and we start to get really sad. I get happy for them, but sad because we won't get that chance. So we are let's just leave this area. We leave the area, and we start walking, jamming out to Justin's music that they have on. And out of nowhere, I hear everyone disappeared, and we're like, where is everyone, right? Where is them? And when we go back to the gates, everyone is there because that's where everyone arrives. And we're waiting there, waiting, the dancers pass, and since in the side that we were, and there were barely people, and Alessandra, Sean, Michael, Kaylee waved at us, and I was like, oh my god, they saw us, you know. So and then, like, you know, I've been DMing Alfredo to see if, you know, if I could meet him. I love and adore Fredo so much. Like, I just love him. Like, oh my god, I can't even. And out of nowhere, I get a DM from him saying, I'm not here yet, but when I do, I will come and see you. And I'm like, oh my god, what? And my friends had to literally grab me because I was falling to the floor reading the DMs. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet Alfredo. And, you know, getting super excited. And then, like, I check my Twitter, checking my mentions, right? And I see that my friends, at Swag Like Bieber, Lexi, at Loving Bieber Swag, Karime, at Bieber Owls, Julie, at One That's Only Got Tracker, Kimberly, at Bieber Super Army, all of you guys helping me out, trying to start a trending topic, tweeting the crew, Alfredo, Jen, Scooter, all of them. And let me just tell you guys, and everyone from Twitter helping me out, single one of you, tweeting the crew to help me find me. I just want to thank you guys so much for doing that for me. It literally meant the world to me that you guys would take a chance, like, take your time and you know, help me from all people. It meant the world to me, every single one of you guys that, you know, started helping me that day. Not only helping me that day, but, you know, giving me that support that I would meet him. And I want to thank you guys so much for everything. It really meant the world to me that you guys would take your time to tweet the crew to help me. It really did. It really meant the world. Thank you guys so much. Really. Just thank you. I really, sorry. Thank you so much, honestly, really. Just thank you. I don't know how I'll ever repay you guys for everything that you've done for me. I just thank you. Thank you so much. And so, we're like waiting for everyone to pass, and Justin's car passed, and it went by so fast that everyone, like, the barricades went down, and everyone tried to get him. I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna stay here, you know. And we left. I'm waiting for my dad because he had to accompany Keisha to look for her ticket. And while I'm there, one of my friends, like, runs to me, and they're like, oh my god, it's like, you know, she tweeted you. You guys all know who tweeted me. You guys, like, you know who tweeted me. It's really obvious. And she's like, she tweeted you. Oh my god. And she's like, hi, I want to say hi to you. Where are you? And I'm like, wait, what? What is happening? What? And she, like, shows me. I'm like, oh my god, where do I go? I was left alone with my little sister, so I barely knew where I had to go. So then my friend Maddie's came, and so I left her with my sister, and I'm like, wait, she won't go where it's, like, there's a lot of people. So I went to the back of the gates where we were before, and a lot of you guys, thank you so much again. We're tweeting her where I was, the pictures. Thank you so much. That was, like, thank you, really. And then I tweeted, like, she's not gonna find me, and then she's like, I'm outside, where are you? And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I'm here, and I tweeted her a picture, and I'm, like, waiting. 15 minutes passed and nothing, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what's happening, I don't know, like, you know. And I see a woman coming up to us, and I'm like, oh my god, is that her? And she comes up, like, to us, and she's like, who was the one who gave me the scrapbook yesterday? Everyone's like, her, and I'm like, me. And she's like, okay, so Fred just got the scrapbook. He was with his family yesterday. He just got it. He's with his cousins right now. I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much. And she's like, no worries. Okay, come here. And I'm like, okay. And she puts her hand on me. And she's like, okay, so I gave all of my meet and greets away today. But I have these. And she opens her hand. And there's 2 meet and greet bracelets on her hand. As soon as I saw that, I immediately hugged her so hard and thanked her in so many possible ways. Thanked her for everything, for just doing that for me. And she's like, I only have one for you and one of your friends. I don't have for everyone. She said, but you need to go now. The meeting are going to start. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much. I hug her again. I start crying. And I asked her, like, where do I go? And she's like, the security will know where you have to go. And I'm like, okay. And so I take my friend Keisha with me, and I'm like, we're gonna go meet Justin, and we run for our life. I've never done so much exercise in my life. Let me just tell you that. And so I go running, and finally after the running, and they've been sending us different places, we found the line for the meet and greet, because before they wouldn't let us even go in. We were gonna go talk to Jen and Alfredo and anyone from the crew that was there, because they told us to go talk to them since they weren't letting us in, so they could explain. But then they finally they finally believed us, and we went to, like, they let us go in the line, and I met I met the believers that I met the other day. They were in the line, and they're like, what are you doing here? And I explained, and they all hugged me, and they're like, oh my God, you deserve it. And it was just amazing that, sharing that moment with them. So we go down, we're making the line for the meet and greet, and someone from the meet and greet that works there tells us that Justin is really sick and he needs more time with the doctor, and that that the meet and greet had to be after the show because he needed more time with him. And so at that moment, I didn't care about the meeting. I cared what was, like, how badly Justin was, that he needed more time. You get me? And I was like, okay, okay. And so we all went back to our seats. I told Keisha, I'll see you later. And I went to my seat, and when I was in the line, I DM'd Alfredo if he could meet me. I was at the meet and greet line, and I turned on my phone at that because I was charging it. And when I go to my seat and I open it, I see a DM from him. Are you still at the line? And I'm like, no, I'm not there because they moved the meet and greet after the show since Justin is sick and needs more time with the doctor. And I went up to charge my phone, and out of nowhere I hear, da, and it's the countdown, and I'm like, oh my God, it's starting. And so I start freaking out, and I'm like, okay, phone, charge as fast as you can. And my dad comes and tells me that it's at 4 minutes, and I take everything with me, and I run for my life to my seat, and I open before, like, the whole show, like, the whole concert starts. I check my phone, I see a DM from Alfredo telling me, alright, I'll see you at the meet and greet with the winky face. And I'm like, yay, oh my God, I'm gonna meet him. Oh my God, yeah. And the concert started, and when I saw Justin come out, I couldn't believe it. I started crying that he was in front of me after 5 years. He was in front of me, and in front, like, you get me right there. This is not a picture, not a video, not a gift, no anything. He's there. He's real. And I just started crying. And he's like, when I heard him say, let's go, Puerto Rico, my world changed. I just couldn't believe it. The whole concert I was dancing, singing my heart out. And believe it, never say never. I cried so much because I had my meet and greet wristband on at that moment. And I looked down and I was like, I made it. It happened. You get me? Dreams do come true. And I was crying, and then when the concert was almost over, he's walking up. I'm like, no, please don't leave, because you just want to stay there forever. And he left, and I started crying, but then I realized, no, I'm going to go meet him now. I have to run. And I run to the line, and my friend is not there yet. And I'm like, no, it can't be. She has to come. 15 minutes later, she arrives, and I'm like, oh my God, thank God, because I was calling her, but her phone died. And so we're waiting at the meet and greet, and we're waiting, and we start moving. And I'm like, no answer from Alfredo. I don't see him anywhere. When we're getting there, I see, we literally, there's a curtain in, the room where you take the picture. I see Alfredo, and I'm like, Alfredo! And Alfredo's like, hey! And, he's like, hey! And he, waves at us and smiles. And I'm like, oh my God. I was first, and to enter the meet and greet, and when they opened that curtain and I saw Justin, his eyes were sparkling. I'm not even kidding. He looked like an angel. And I'm like, I had to pause myself. I was like, oh my God, he's there. And I'm like, okay, breathe. Okay, breathe. And I go beside him and I grab his side. And I had my backpack on because they didn't let me put it on the floor for some reason. And Justin was trying to try to put his arm, around me, but my backpack was in the way. But I guess he didn't notice that he got it out of the way, and he grabbed me so tight. And I was like, oh my God, I think I jumped when that happened. And, you know, Keisha got in, then the other girls. And then he put his arm, like, up here, and I was like, damn it, but, you know, still. And when they took the picture, I didn't waste any time. I, like, I looked to the other side where he was, and I'm like, I love you so much, Justin, straight looking to his eyes, and he's like, I love you too. And I was like, oh my god. And I'm like, I went in for the hug. Like, his hand was already, like, the hug was almost complete until a security guard came in and pushed me out of the way. And, like, he hurt me. So I screamed, like, ow, but in Spanish, like, I. And, like, Justin gave him this look, like, don't ever do that again. And I was like, oh, like, you know, like, damn. But I was like, he got mad, so that was enough for me. Like, at the security guard. And I was about to say, like, hi to Alfredo when the security pushed me again out. And I was like, okay. Like, and Fredo, like, looked at me like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything. And I'm like, okay. But I got, and I got, like, when I got out of the meeting, I'm, like, all normal, right? But then, me and Keisha just tell ourselves, we just met Justin. Like, we just met him. And right there, we felt, like, when we went out, we fell to the floor. I finally met my everything. The person I've looked up to for 5 years. I finally met him. And it was just amazing. He's real. He told me I love you. He exists. He's there. It's the best feeling in the world, knowing that you, like, it happened. You met him. And then when this was all happening, Alfredo tweeted me, I love you, like, te amo, and I'm like, oh my god, and that's when, like, I literally threw myself to the floor, because after all of this happening, and then I told my dad, please, we need to go to the hotel, I need to meet Fredo. I went to the hotel, and we're waiting and waiting, I have like 15 more minutes to stay, out of nowhere, a girl screams, Fredo, and I'm like, oh my god, I look, and I see him, and a girl tells him, EatPrayBieber, and he's like, where? And I'm like, I'm here, Fred, and she's like, there, and I'm like, there you are, and I'm like, here I am, and I'm like, he's like, the security's moving, and I'm like, wait, Fredo, can I take a picture with you? And he's like, hold me, because, like, he was being pushed away, like, to the car, and I hold his arm like this, literally like this. And when he's about to get in the car, the security starts pushing me, and Fredo's like, wait, I'm only gonna take a picture with her. And I'm like, oh my god. And he puts, like, his whole arm around me, and I take the picture, and he's like, does a silly picture. And I'm like, thank you so much, Alfredo, I love you. He's like, I love you too, and the door closes. And I go crying to my dad, tell him it happened, thank you so much. And this was the best experience ever. For the first time, it was the best experience. And I just want to tell you guys, please never give up. I know it seems hard. I know maybe the first time it won't happen. I'm telling you, I've tried so many times, and maybe it won't happen the first time, but maybe it will. Who knows? But please don't ever give up. Keep trying. All the hard work that you put into will be worth it at the end. Please. Like, I know it's hard to believe, and, like, you know, never say never, believe, but that is not a lie. That actually is true. It just may not happen the first time. So please never stop trying. Always go for it, please. Just if you ever need help, I'm always going to be here. Just tweet me and I will try my best. And thank you all so much for helping me, for tweeting the crew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lexi, Kimberly, Karime, Julie, Fernanda, every single one of you from Twitter for helping me. Thank you so much. It meant the world to me. You guys are amazing. And none of this would have ever happened without you guys. So thank you so much. I love you guys. And please, never say never and never give up. Anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Love you guys.